Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Red Elevator. I'm wearing blue today, not red, stepping out of the red elevator to talk about my favorite paint colors and some tips and tricks with paint. So follow me. Today I'm wearing a lovely blue sheer outfit by Sandro that has these velveteen polka dots on it that are 3D, a belt that I bought many years ago from Celine in Paris that adorns the dress, and my shoes are from Bottega. This week we are going to talk about the fundamental design element of any home, which is their paint color. This is a very important decision that needs to be made, and if you haven't seen my 2021 colors that were released in the beginning of the year, it's one of the most watched videos. There will be a little link up here for you to look at it. But today we are going to look at paint colors and how they can be extremely transformative. I'm going to share with you my custom formula that I have on my walls that a lot of people ask about because they see me weekly here in my foyer. So that's going to be shared. Make sure you stay till the very end because we're going to talk about some do's and some don'ts and also a new collaboration with paint that you are not going to want to miss. I'm going to ask you really quickly to do me a huge favor at this moment. If you can subscribe to this channel, it just takes 30 seconds or maybe less, 10 seconds, and it will be very helpful to my channel. Thank you for that. One important thing I wanted to share with you guys is that Kelly Wearstler has done a paint collaboration with Farrow&Ball. As you guys know, Farrow&Ball is a very high-end paint company that has very limited amounts of colors and selections. And Kelly's is, of course, fundamentally beautiful. And I wanted to share that with you because it was released not long ago. And what Kelly has done is that she has brought in the Californian landscape of paint colors into a beautiful collection. Her colors are very moody and they're actually quite neutral with a pop of color. So if you look at Kelly's colors, these are really wonderful to be used even now today. I particularly love the tar color that is almost black. And it looks really great in a room if you paint the walls dark and have white furniture inside, as you see in this room with this white marble table. Another color of hers that I love is called Stoke, and it is a beautiful neutral gray. If you are in search of a gray, this is a really good color because you can certainly introduce this with rooms that have very loud art or lots of color, and this will neutralize your space. Her neutral colors are called Salt, which is a very white, crisp white that again is very hard to find the perfect white, so I do recommend it. And she has a beautiful neutral by the name of Sand, which is reminiscent of the sandy beaches in Malibu where she has a home, and really California. It has a little bit of yellow in it, which I like for those of you that have neutral furniture and have a lot of ivory boucle, which is very much on trend. Something that is very important that I'm seeing lately that was not an issue in the past, but is an issue now. And the reason this is happening is that everybody's using white and they're using white everywhere, which is great. Historically, white was not used in California or in the United States because people assumed it was an apartment color. And then everybody was using colors on their walls and had crown moldings that were in white and baseboards that were in white. However, now that these Parisian rooms are being duplicated all over the world, especially in the United States, what's happening is that people are using white on their walls and they're using white on their baseboards and moldings. But there's a mistake that's happening that I need to point out to stop everyone from making it. So the mistake is painting your walls one white and then painting your baseboards and your ceiling and your molding a different white. That has to stop immediately. That is the worst offense I can think of. So what you need to do immediately is paint your baseboards, your walls, your moldings, your crown moldings, and your ceiling all in the same exact shade of white. The same color, the same formula. Now, what that means though is that you can have different sheens because for baseboards, I like more of an eggshell. For ceilings, has to be flat so you don't get any reflection. And for your walls, use the sheens that you typically use, but exactly use the same white. Why? So that your room looks like it is enveloped in the color. And it doesn't throw you off from one lighter shade of white to a darker shade of white to a really stark white to an off-white. That is very painful for the eye, and you must continue the same white on all your walls. And to illustrate this as an example, I have painted my dining room simply white by Benjamin Moore. That is probably my favorite color. All of these colors that we're talking about today will be linked below so you guys can click on them, buy a sample, use them. However, simply white is at the moment my favorite white neutral. I think that it is not too yellow, it's not too blue, it's not too gray, it's not too white. It is perfect. And in my dining room project, we used simply white, and we used it all over. So that is really an important way for me to be able to illustrate what I mean by an all white room. My recommendation always is to buy 1 quart of paint sample so that you can test it in your room. I would buy 3, 4 of your favorite colors that you think are going to look nice in your space, and I would test them out as we did in my dining room, or I have done in all my projects. And what we do is we literally apply them to the wall, we step back, and we look at them at different times of day. The reason we do that is because paint changes color, whether you apply it in the morning sun, whether the room is facing east or south or west, and you want to look at it in the different shades of light so to really understand your color. I'm going to talk about now, other than simply white, my favorite must-do neutrals, because let's face it, most of us are painting our homes in a neutral color, so why focus on reds and purples that you're never going to use? We're going to talk about my favorite neutrals. My first favorite is simply white, which you guys know, by Benjamin Moore, and my second favorite is called Ammonite by Farrow&Ball. This is a really subtle color, and it absorbs a lot of the natural light and acts like a chameleon in a room. If you want a little bit more depth and not just a very, very neutral white, I like Revere Pewter by Benjamin Moore. This is also a chameleon-like color, and what's great about Revere Pewter is that it has warm undertones and a little bit of gray. So it really is a nice mix if you have, you know, anything that has silver in it, or if you have warm tones in your room, this will be a perfect neutral. Finally, my last but favorite color that you see all over my house, that is a perfect neutral. Now, this color has enough of a color to it so that you can have your white baseboards and your white ceilings. And if you're gonna do white baseboards, white ceilings with a color that's very subtle, then I recommend that you can have them in 2 different colors. My baseboards and my ceiling are all super white by Benjamin Moore. I love super white because it's truly paper white, and that's how I like my ceilings to look and my baseboards. And if you have a touch of color, like I do on my living room foyer walls, then you are going to love this color that I have personally mixed, and we'll be sharing the formula with you in the comments box. Finally, my best tips for those of you who are painting on your own or are hiring someone to help you, I would definitely make sure that you use high quality brushes. Do not skimp out on the brush, because it'll have a very important effect on your walls. Now, if your walls have a lot of texture, make sure that you use the kind of roller that has a deeper nap, and that means it's got more of a full texture to it, a larger nap, so that it can get into the crevices of the wall and have a more even paint finish. Make sure that you use primer on all of your walls before you put paint on. Don't skimp on that. It's an additional step and more money, but it's worth it. And always start from the top as you go down with your paint brushes or your paint strokes. And remember to keep all your windows and doors open so the paint dries as you're painting and you have enough light. Worst comes to worst, have those big light projectors that you can buy on Amazon. We will link one in our comments box that will really illuminate the space. If you don't have enough light, you have no idea how you're painting your room, buy them, they're inexpensive. Shed these lights onto the walls and have a good time. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Neutral Paint Colors. We are going to look at 2022 colors, which are coming out very soon. I cannot wait to share those with you. There has been a little bit of rumblings in the industry about what they're going to be, so make sure and watch out for that. Thank you for being a wonderful viewer, subscriber. Please leave a comment in the box. Let me know if you liked some of these paint colors or if you're planning on choosing them. Again, we can't wait to see you next week right here on the Red Elevator.